Maybe a very good morning to you and yours, and thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful Friday morning. Coming to you live from Omuthia in the Oshikoto region for the State of the Region address that will be delivered by the Governor of the Oshikoto region, Penda and Ndakolo, in just a couple of minutes. Now, we are coming to you live from, that is the beautiful town of Omuthia, to, of course, ponder on the challenges that the Oshikoto region has, of course, experienced in the past financial year, as well as its challenges and the future plans, and that is, of course, currently being done, and, of course, the current status of the region. Now, this morning I am joined by my guest, who is a youth activist and teacher by profession, Velema Mutenya. Very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Yes, thank you very much, John. Nice to have you in Oshikoto, and welcome to Oshikoto region.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, the heat didn't welcome us too well, but a great stay, actually.
You will adapt. I know the body will adapt.
Very well. Perhaps before we get into what we are about to learn from the governor, perhaps your expectations from the State of the Region address that we are anticipating in a short minute.
Yes, surely we are expecting the Honorable Governor to ponder much on the socio-economic advancement programs and activities that I think the region has been engaging in between the previous SORA, and obviously as to what are the plans that the region would have in terms of all the stakeholders have when it comes to getting to the programs of either creating employments, aspects of how best to ensure food security, and the infrastructural development plans that the region might obviously have moving forward, especially considering the increased population. We just came from census, and then they've informed us the population has increased. And therefore, I think the Honorable Governor have to ponder on the plans that the region would have in advancing our region.
Absolutely. Now, we took to the streets to also learn from the residents or the citizens of this amazing region, to also learn from them from what their expectations also are in terms of what they want to learn from what they want the governor perhaps to enforce in his speech, as well as to that to benefit the future of the Oshikoto region. Let's learn and listen to the residents of the Oshikoto region.
Well, there's a lot of developments taking place in the region. Of course, just before us here, there is a stormwater channel that's under construction that is spearheaded by the Omuthia Town Council. And also across the region, there is various developments also that are taking place currently to do with water provision, drilling and installation of boreholes, as well as maintenance of roads.
That's right. Those were some of the residents of Oshikoto region just sharing a bit of what their expectations are. But we have it under good authority now that the governor of the Oshikoto region, Penda and Ndakolo, is now ready to deliver the State of the Region address. Governor, it's over to you.
Of Oshikoto Regional Council. Honorable Regional Councillors present here, both regional and local authority councillors, Your Worship the mayors of Omuthia Town, Tume Municipality, and our Nipa Town. This is Mwenyo, Chief Regional Officer, Oshikoto Regional Council, represented by Comrade Aukena, Comrade Commander, Comrade Nashikaku, Regional Commander Nampol, Oshikoto region. Senior government official present here, a regional head of various ministries within our region, Oshikoto, Captain of Industries, staff members of both Office of the Regional Governor and of Oshikoto Regional Council, veterans of our liberation struggle, traditional leaders present here, spiritual leaders, our esteemed business community, distinguished invited guests, members of media, fellow Namibians, good morning. It is my distinct honor and a privilege to stand before you today on this occasion of the 5th State of our Regional Address to report on the progress, challenges, and aspirations of our region for the financial year 2023-2024, and to highlight plans for current financial year 2024-2025. This is the time where we collectively look back on our activities of the year under review, not only to assess progress, but also to draw lessons to continuously improve on service delivery to our people. During the period under review, our region of Oshikoto has achieved significant milestones across various sectors, including infrastructure development, education, healthcare, and economic growth. These achievements are as a result of the collaborative effort with our government agencies, private sectors, and the community initiatives. We have successfully completed infrastructure projects, expanded access to quality education and healthcare services, fostered a conducive environment for business, and implemented sustainable development initiatives to enhance the livelihoods of our people in Oshikoto. As a result, it is befitting to deliver this year's SORA under the theme, Unity of Purpose for Stronger Oshikoto. The words of wisdom from our founding president, father of the Namibian nation, a leader of our revolution, His Excellency Dr. Sam Shafishuna Nujoma, continues to inspire us. As he taught us that a united people striving to achieve the common good of all members of the society will always emerge victorious. Therefore, I would like to encourage that we must continuously strive for inclusivity and the unity of purpose as we wage the struggle for economic advancement. Community chairperson, community regional councillors present, local authority, economic advancement. Turning our focus on economic advancement in Oshikoto region, we have seen significant developments across various sectors that have strengthened our regional economy. Economic advancement is critical to any thriving society, serving as the driving force behind sustainable growth and improved living standards. Our commitment to economic development has been evident in several key areas. Therefore, community chairperson, honorable regional councillors, and the fellow Namibians, allow me to report on the activities carried out by offices, ministries, and the agencies in the Oshikoto region, which are geared toward enabling favorable environment for economic advancement. micro and small startup enterprises are widely recognized worldwide as the backbone of any economy. As such, the government of the Republic of Namibia is making deliberate efforts to ensure that startup businesses are encouraged to innovate and upscale. In order to achieve that objective, the following activities were implemented by OMAS in our region, Oshikoto, during the under review. The regional governor provided material support worth over 100 Namibian dollars to 6 promising startups, enterprises in our region to help them upscale their operations. The assistant enterprises are in the sectors such as manufacturing, agriculture, tailoring, and clothing production, as well as salon and beauty care. The office is looking forward to continue with this strategic initiative on any annual basis in order to assist startups business with in line with the regional development priorities on a competitive basis to ensure local economic development. Similarly, the income-generating activities program under the Ministry of Gender Equality, Poverty Eradication, and Social Welfare provided materials to 5 rural projects specializing in tailoring, bricklaying, and milling. The program intends to assist youth in business, to expand their business and generate additional employment opportunities. The beneficiaries are in the area of Ndakolo, Rukondo, Nyanya, Oshikoto constituencies. Furthermore, 23 youth entrepreneurs in various constituencies of Oshikoto region were trained on basic business management skills, and they were also provided with Namibia Youth Credit Scheme, that's loan, as startup capital. 8 adolescent girls and young women were also provided with business toolkits to start their own businesses. In the same breath, it is also important to indicate that the support to rural farmers is critical in mitigating challenges posed by climate change. As such, 319 farmers were also trained in various specified areas in order to gain agricultural skills and knowledge, and to contribute to food security, income generation, and employment creation with their rural communities. In terms of promoting agricultural innovation, 146 agricultural appropriate technology products were sold to farmers at a break-even price to boost their small businesses and help them to provide services to the rural community effectively. The agricultural appropriate technology products will not only contribute to the rural economy and the employment opportunities, but also to the improved agricultural and climate change adaptation practices in the rural communities. The above-mentioned programs were implemented by the Ministry of Sport, Youth, and National Services. and the Okashana Rural Development Center, respectively. Moreover, the Oshikoto Regional Council has also offered training to 20 MSMs in the Hare Jampinga, Naingodi, and Ndakolo constituencies to assist them thrive and generate jobs. Comrade Chairperson of Oshikoto Regional Council, honorable members, fellow Namibians, the Ministry of Industrialization and Trade is charged with a responsibility to develop and manage Namibia's economy regulatory framework, promote economic growth and development through the formation or formulation and the implementation of appropriate policies with the view to attract investment, increase trade, develop, and expand the country's industrial base. The Ministry of Trade and Industrialization managed to facilitate the registration of 40 cross corporations, 11 company amendments, 30 import permits, 277 SME certificates, and 60 annual duties during their under review. The Ministry has also been engaged in activities which include the training of 101 SMEs from Oshikoto region in microbusiness simulations. The importance of support mechanisms for smallholder farmers, more especially in regions which are largely rural like Oshikoto region, cannot be overemphasized. It helps in building technical capacity for farmers and also increases production. Hence, the agricultural mechanization and the seed improvement project, which support seed production in Omphia and Tsumeb constituency, led to increased availability of seed varieties of drought-tolerant crops, such as pure millet, cowpea, maize, sorghum. A further 59 new farmers fields were also inspected and they qualified to become seed growers in our region of Oshikoto. An annual vaccination campaign for rabies and the CBPP for Oshikoto region west of cordon veterinary fence was conducted, where over 185,832 cattle and 14,108 pets were immunized. Financial assistance, material, and the implementation of a project at ABC projects were one of the key funded projects in Tsumeb constituency in order to ensure self-sustainability and provide jobs. A total of 1,700 people benefited from this said project. The importance of integrating the veterans of liberation struggle in the mainstream economy cannot be overemphasized. The Ministry of Defense and the Veteran Affairs is mandated to initiate and promote projects and the programs that address the socio-economic needs of our veterans, including keeping the history of the national liberation struggle alive. In that regard, the ministry is implementing the individual veteran project initiative which is aimed at generating income for individual veterans through business activities with economic value. The overall purpose of the initiative is to improve the livelihood of veterans of liberation struggle and integrate them into the socio-economic mainstream of our country. Additionally, the ministry is also operating a ministerial poultry farming project in Onyanya constituency, which is aimed at supplementing the Veterans Fund. The project produced 3,000 eggs daily, which translates over 1 million eggs production capacity per annum. The project is currently expanding as the rehabilitation of facilities is underway. Comrade Chair, Honorable Councillors, fellow Namibians, all these projects and initiatives require significant financial commitment. The Oshikoto Regional Council and their offices, ministries, and the agencies, as well as other stakeholders, invested a total amount of 32,264,500 Namibian dollars into the initiatives toward economic advancement. This substantial investment has not only driven economic growth, but it has also resulted in new employment opportunity for over 537 people in our region of Oshikoto. It is also worth to report that Namibia conducted the 4th population and the housing census from 17 September to 10 October last year. Oshikoto region has also benefited in the following ways. The total number of field staff recruited was 1,138, within a total expenditure of 13,434,132. While the vehicle had were 342, which a total transport expenditure of 1,480,171 Namibian dollars, and a fuel expenditure of 22,645,080 Namibian dollars for Oshikoto region. When it comes to infrastructure development, access to infrastructure is a key enabler to the regional development. Oshikoto region, being a largely rural, is faced with the major infrastructure development challenges, such as a lack of a feeder road network, adequate clean water supply, and access to electricity. These challenges are, however, being addressed, although not at the desired pace due to the lack of resources. The Oshikoto Regional Council ensured provision of electrical services, water and sewer reticulations for Onaina Extension Number 1, in Onaina Settlement, and Oshivero Extension Number 1, in Oshivero Settlement, respectively. All projects has been completed and handed over to the respective communities. It is also pleasing to report that the administration center of Guinas constituency will relocate from Oshivero Settlement, which is in the Harajampinkana constituency, to Tsinsabi Settlement in Guinness, given that the construction of their constituency office phase number 2 is completed. Phase number 3, which is their construction of 2 staff houses, is now underway, and the progress rate is above 20%. And it is also expected to be completed by October this year. The project aims to bring the services closer to the people. The construction of water reticulation services at the New Lai settlement, of which 11 plots has been serviced with water, has been also completed. The provision of electricity, Hedimbi Primary School, Hedimbi Primary Health Care, and the 3 growth points at the Hale Jampingana constituency has been identified in enhancing the learning environment and educational outcome, while the healthcare will significantly improve, because it will provide emergency services at any time, which will foster a healthier and a prosperous community. The project is at a 12% rate, and it is also ongoing. Another provision of electricity at the Naruthip Combined School, Church and the Growth Point in Ngodi constituency, and the provision of electricity of Njabangharu Combined School, and the growth points in Ndakolo constituency is underway. This will attract and improve business activities, leading to job creation, and the service providers will operate more efficiently. Additionally, the connection of educational facilities to the grid make it possible for school to utilize technology in teaching and learning. The above stated project is at 20% and is also ongoing. Moreover, the electrification of Shamba Imbu Growth Point in Onipa constituency awaits connectivity by NORAD. This will improve business activities, and the community members will have access to apply for electricity from the main supply to their homestead. Community Chair, community councillors, fellow Namibians, the challenge with regard to access to clean water in the Oshikoto region, more especially in area on the eastern side of Oshikoto, are well known. The problems are mainly low pipeline water pressure and the salty borehole water. But I am happy to report that significant steps are taken to address these challenges. On the issue of low water pressure, the Ondangwa Umtsegonime pipeline is currently being replaced and upgraded in order to increase water supply and the water scarcity in the area between Ondangwa and Umtsegonime. The construction contract for phase 1 on this pipeline on Ndangwa Oshali has been awarded, and the site was also handed over to the contractor on 16 May 2024. A total amount of $27,500,000 million is budgeted for this project. Similarly, it is also pleasing to report that a total amount of $79,200,000 Namibian dollars is budgeted for the Oshikoto Omtsegonime water pipeline This project entails the development of Oshikoto artesian aquifer to supply water to Oshikoto region. The tender for borehole setting, drilling, and the aquifer modeling is expected to be advertised this year. The government, our government, continue to drill deep boreholes and has recently introduced the mini desalination plants to purify salty borehole water. Currently, 2 bores at the Omeantalala and the Otanaha using the reserve osmosis mini desalination are operational. 4 other at Onerago, Akazuru, and the Shikondirwa, and the Otatashe are awarded to the contractors. Comrade Chair, Comrade Rino Councillors, fellow Namibians, on other water provision efforts, the Oshikoto Regional Council has constructed a 4-kilometer water pipeline at the Okahama in Mtele constituency and upgraded the Oshingwe Vine Nelulu water pipeline, respectively, in the Onaina constituency. The construction of the Okanteni, Hamadilo Ekuku pipeline, and the Ongenga Kalumpa pipeline projects in the Onyanya constituency are also completed. Similarly, the Okakango Navora B pipeline is also completed, while the Oshiaga East pipeline is at the 65% progress. All completed projects have been handed over to the communities. The Onthia Town Council has been faced with water shortage challenges. Therefore, the Council constructed backwater storage facilities at Extension 3 and 5, whereby 2 ground tanks and 1 elevated tank to ensure constant water supply to its residents were put up. The Town Council has also constructed the stormwater channel to address the challenges of large amount of stagnant water during the rainy season. The Tsumeb municipality is also constructing municipal services, that is water and the sewer reticulations, for Nomsob extension number 9, in order to deliver 293 serviced Aven to the residents of Tsumeb. Their project is at a 25% rate and is ongoing. The project is also estimated to be completed by 2024-2025 financial year. The municipality is also implementing the electrical reticulation project for Nomsob extension number 9, which is aiming to deliver the street light and the mini subs to the 293 Ervins. The project is ongoing at 63%, and it is due for completion during 24-25 financial year. A total amount of $11,400,000 Namibian has so far been spent on these 2 projects. The 2 projects are expected to cost the municipality a total amount of $32,560,000 Namibian dollars upon completion. The lining of the Chupawea Dam, which required new lining cover, to improve the backwater infrastructure, to safeguard the water quality for potable water has been completed. In addition, the construction of the fruit and the veg hub for street vendors to operate has also been completed. While the road infrastructure of Levi, Mashekele, and the American Wyoma is ongoing currently at a 60% progress rate. Furthermore, Comrade Chairperson, the municipality intends to formalize curriculum reblocking the events to improve the living condition of our people, while the surveying of 12 urban plots, veteran plots in Namsob, X-Station number 3, has also been completed successfully. When it comes to Onipa town, the layout planning and the township establishment of approximately 3,567 urban formalization of a built-up area, dislodging of septic tanks, and the recycling sump has been implemented for the betterment of our people in Onipa. Comrade Chair, Honorable Regional Councillors, fellow Namibians, the Ministry of Gender Equality, Poverty and Social Welfare aims to enhance on social welfare and equality in the region, and recently installed water tanks at early child development centers to ensure a safe and hygiene environment for our children. 50 ECD centers are now equipped with water tanks, and 1,380 children enrolled are benefiting. This is a significant step toward providing better facilities for early child education and development. The centers that benefited are in Ngodi, Guinness, Sonaina, Ndakolo, Nipo, Konda, Nyanyo, Mtele, Mthia, and the Harijampingana constituencies, respectively. In order to provide quality health care, the Ministry of Health and Social Services is collaborating with its development partners to raise the standard of health in our region of Oshikoto. In this regard, the ministry is constructing a new 90-bed capacity maternity ward in Nanjokwe Hospital at a budgeted amount of 59 million Namibian dollars. The project will contribute to enhance services delivery and possibly reduce maternal deaths upon completion, at the cost of 1.5 million Namibian dollars. Renovations in the theater interior at the Nanjokwe Hospital has been completed which will enhance services delivery and minimize referrals to Oshikoto Hospital and the Windhoek. The construction of water reservoir at Mthia Hospital is also completed. The aim is to ease water supply disruption for hospital, which is the main non-water supply is disconnected, when it is disconnected. Renovation at the Mtele Clinic to provide conducive environment for patients and the staff have been completed. The construction of Meantalala Health Post, 10,000 liter water tank, and the fencing of the area of Ndakolo constituency, which is funded by a global fund to improve community-based healthcare services, is also completed. Furthermore, Community Chair, the ministry continues to construct septic tanks at Onhumbula, Onyulai, and Onakazi's clinics, respectively, to improve sanitation and hygiene. Community Chair, Community Councillors, fellow Namibians, the Directorate of Education, Arts and Culture continues to achieve fairly good results amidst the challenges. One of the key challenges is the location of the Directorate of Education headquarters, given that the Directorate is a delegated function to Oshikoto Regional Council, whose the headquarters are in Olympia. It presents an operational challenge in terms of time and the resources, because the Directorate operates 80 kilometers away from Ndangwa. The regional headquarters or regional leadership is engaging the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture in this regard. Moving on, there is a good progress with regard to the construction of and the renovation of our school infrastructure in our region. During the period under review, the Directorate of Education, Arts and Culture has constructed 6 large ablution facilities at 8 schools, mainly Mpapala Primary School, Onethindi Primary School, Sumeba Primary School, Okangolo Secondary School, Okankolo Combined School, Olukupa Primary School, and they renovated a combined total of 10 classrooms at Nguti, Ekulo, Okalumbu Combined Schools. A further 4 classrooms and a storeroom at each of the following schools have been constructed at the Thindi Primary School, Hans Daniel Nauhuya Secondary School, Onarulago Primary School, Onamlunga, Nahas Angura Primary School, Omtsegonime Combined School, Okangororose Combined School, Omboto, Mbaradira, Tsumeb. They received 16 classrooms and the 4 storerooms. The septic tank at Linear Nampara Combined School, King Kauluma Combined School, Matthews Nashandi Combined School, Etanga Combined School, which they aim to improve sanitation, has also been constructed. All of these facilities are 100% completed and ready for a conducive learning and a teaching environment. The Japanese embassy has donated to the Education Ministry by constructing 4 classrooms and a storeroom at the Onarurago Combined School, construction of ablution facility at the Onoya Primary School, and the fencing of schoolyard at the Ondumetana Primary School. Similarly, 3 blocks for pre-primary schools at the Mbundu Primary School, Njukuma Primary School, and Okangororose Primary School has been built by the European Union as a donation. This construction was completed and handed over to the schools. On their progress towards ensuring access to energy for all, the Ministry of Mines and Energy has executed a rural electrification project in some area within Ngondi, Nyanya, Mfia, Ntere, Neharaja Mpingana, and the Okampala constituencies. This is good development, given that these areas are largely rural with limited access to infrastructure. Comrade Chairperson, regional councillors, fellow Namibians, the introduction of a land registration in communal area for freehold security for people holding land rights in those areas is one way to improve the lives of our people in rural areas, given that more than 2/3 of Namibians lives in communal area. Therefore, provision of customary land rights in rural area, as well as the provision of the services at the growth points, goes a long way in bringing about development. In this regard, the Oshikoto Regional Council continue with planning and the surveying of our settlements in order to have an orderly development and a demarcated area within the settlements. Regarding the management of our communal land in our region of Oshikoto, the following activities were also performed during the period under review. A total of 1,506 out of a target of 1,813 communal land rights were registered. 1,502 customary land rights certificates were issued, of which 919 are new and 583 is for existing. The Ondonga Traditional Authority was issued with 133 customary land rights certificates for further distribution to the applicants pending the other 1,416 to be done for the first quarter of 2024-2025 financial year. A further 903 customary land rights certificates were also issued in line with the Ondonga Traditional Authority as an attempt to reduce turnaround time for certificate distribution. 7 right lease holders were recommended to the minister approval. 23 occupational land rights were recommended to the minister for approval, and they are expected also to be ratified soonest. This will be the very first registration of occupational land rights in our region of Oshikoto since the inception of our registration program, mostly the education sector. Our government of the Republic of Namibia continue to prioritize assistance to the marginalized communities. The continuation of a supplementary food distributing to the marginalized community in all 11 constituencies is ongoing. This food are maize meal, sunflower, cooking oil, tinned beef, salt, soya, beans, and the instant porridge. An awareness campaign on human rights for marginalized communities was held in order to educate them about their right to education, health, acquiring national documents, registering for social grant, farm settlement, and other benefits that are offered to all other citizens. Furthermore, Comrade Chair, funeral assistance was also extended to 43 marginalized community members that could not afford burial costs for their relatives. Moving on, the construction of 100 precast toilets in 10 constituencies, translating to 10 toilets per constituency, is underway. A further 90 beneficiaries will benefit from the precast underground toilets materials at Omatope village in Nehale Jampingana under the rural sanitation programs and the community-led total sanitation. Why this is a commendable intervention by the government of the Republic of Namibia to address the issue of open defecation community members who are able must prioritize building their own toilets in order to prevent the spread of waterborne diseases. Another important social aspect in our community is the provision of shelter and the standard accommodation program to disabled and elderly veterans who do not own standard houses in order to improve their living standard. One house under this program was constructed in Onipa constituency in order to ensure that veterans of liberation struggle are accorded with respect and a dignified burial assistance toward the funeral costs was also provided for veterans who passed on. A total of 29 tombstones were erected on the grave of the veterans of liberation struggle in the Oshikoto region. One of the key social issues that has great benefit to our society in terms of health, economic, social well-being, and the recreational is sport. Sport is generally regarded not only as a unifier, but an economic opportunity creator. Also in terms of entrepreneurial activities at sport event, as well as pursuance of a career in sport. I'm therefore urging parents, guardians, and the teachers to take sport development for our children seriously in order to reap those benefits. Sport keeps the youth away from alcohol and the other social ills, and the teachers teach them discipline. That way, the future of our nation will be in good hands. During the period under review, all 11 constituencies in the Oshikoto region participated in a PST-based Governors Cup tournament. This sport event brought together around 5,000 fans, while 500 participants took part in various sports codes. The event also provided the platform for the local vendors to sell their products, more especially food to the spectators. The event was also sponsored by PST-BED and has massively contributed to social and economic well-being of our region. The humble plea therefore goes out to all sport lovers, as well as the business entities, to do more in promoting sport, most especially at the grassroots level. Camarada Chairperson, comrade regional councillors, fellow Namibians. In conclusion, I would like to urge all members of the public to work hard in improving public safety and security. We all need to work together and hold hands in effort toward a crime-free community. I would like also, therefore, to applaud the Police Regional Commander, Comrade Tiopo, Namibian Police, and indeed member of the public, member of Women Network, and all individuals and entities involved in crime prevention in our region for their dedication. It is also pleasing to note that during the last quarter of the financial under review, rape cases reduced by 58%. Suicide cases went down by 21%, while stock theft also declined by 53%, comparing to the same quarter of the previous financial year. While this is a positive development, the concern remains that most of the gender-based violence cases, such as rape, are perpetrated against minors by the people who support, who are supposed to actually take care of those children. These people doing this are mostly relatives, guardians, neighbors. This is indeed disturbing. Therefore, I reiterating that we must all redouble our effort to fight crimes. Let us utilize various means, such as education, awareness campaign in schools and other public places. However, most importantly, let us strive to raise our children in the right way at home. When the children are raised in a correct manner, they will surely grow into responsible members of their society. Last but not least, road accident in our region of Oshikoto continues to be caused or to be a cause of concern. During the period under review, a total of 217 crashes were also recorded in Oshikoto region, resulting 482 injuries and 50 fatalities. The rollovers accounted for the highest number of crashes, followed by the pedestrian-related crashes and collisions at 28%, 25%, and 21% respectively. The higher number of rollovers and pedestrian-related crashes, which stood at 60 and 55 in total respectively, definitely points to over-speeding on our roads, as well as driving under the influence of alcohol. Therefore, the major cause of accidents in our region, Oshikoto, and the country at large, can without doubt be attributed to our bad attitudes on the road. We should therefore be reminded of the common saying, every time we are behind the wheel, that bad attitude is like a flat tire. You will not go anywhere until you change it. Let us unite and work together for the common good of our society. Let us praise the interest of our region of Oshikoto, and indeed that of our country, our motherland. God bless Namibia, and thank you very much.
That's right, there you have it. That was the State of the Region address out-delivered rather, by the governor of the Oshikoto region, Penda and Ndakolo. Now we're back to give you a post-analysis of what he just heard, perhaps also ponder on some of the things that were mentioned, also just emphasize them, and also speak of some perhaps that also might be missed from the State of the Region address. Now we are still joined by youth activist, that is Velem Amutenya. Velem, once again, thank you so much for making the time to talk to us. Perhaps your highlight of what we just heard from the governor. What stood out for you?
Yes, no, really, it was a good address.
Yeah.
I should say the infrastructure development and more especially the renovation in the education infrastructures in terms of schools, classrooms. I think that is something that stood out for me. The region has really invested much on renovating classrooms and adding up more classrooms in schools.
Yeah.
That is one. Two, I was so much impressed about the development when it comes to water infrastructure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, really, Oshikoto has been suffering so much, and I know still some areas are, not accessible to or do not have access to potable water. However, the developments that the Honorable Governor have highlighted, looking at the boreholes, plants, and the water pipeline between Ondangwa and Mtsegonime, and even going further, Mtsegonime and Oshivelo, these are quite good developments that the region can't really wait to enjoy in terms of having access to potable water.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
One that also stands out, actually, that's very interesting is the desalination process that you also mentioned that's currently underway. Speak to us about what really stands out in terms of that process of trying to make underground water, which is of course still under salt conditions, to make it much more usable for the residents or the public rather.
Yeah, Oshikoto has so much salt water, and honestly, as we speak now, as a nation, using our resources, water that we have underground, that is obviously through boreholes, it should be one of the biggest investment and something that we should really cherish because it's sustainable. Absolutely. We are talking about water that is underground, and all what we need is facilities and the infrastructures that we must have. And therefore, to come up with such sophisticated, scientific infrastructures of having a desalination in a remote area, making sure that people really have. I think that is a great investment that the government should really be cherished for. That it would allow even the farmers to actually even start with their small scale, even a larger scale production, making use of the same facilities. And I understand it would also obviously give some skills and information, not skills to say, but knowledge, yes, knowledge and skills to understand that we can have a solution to, for instance, changing water or improving water within, within our environment to that way. So it's quite an achievement.
Very unique development in this aspect. Let's talk about the youth, and let's talk about education, especially. You also come from that background as well in the past, and also very vibrant in youth empowerment, which you are really much really known for. Talk about what he mentioned in terms of the improvements to be made when it comes to the school infrastructures that are being improved, and also some of the areas in terms of youth empowerment programs. What is your take on what he just mentioned?
That is quite something that I mentioned that stood out for me, to say that we have seen the region really putting much of their resources in developing and improving schools. That is by obviously building the ablution facilities just to ensure that the school environments are conducive, talking about classrooms and so forth. So that actually allow our young people to love schooling, and because the environments are conducive, and also make it more easier for our teachers, our educators, to really deliver in a conducive environment. Looking at Oshikoto, having really, it's more diverse. I want to say most of the schools are in rural areas. And therefore, if we have these facilities well equipped, and more especially also electrification to the schools, that allows information technologies to obviously be fully implemented in the schools. So that would obviously empower young people in terms of access to information, and in terms of obviously access to education as well, because at the end of the day, I don't believe if a young person can really flourish without being well equipped when it comes to education. Honorable Governor also spoke about sports, emphasized about the sport activities in the region, having just hosted the PST Governor's Cup, and all the constituencies participated. That is quite interesting to me. However, I think something that was not much touched is on the sports facilities. To me, we cannot speak about and motivate people to love sports when we do not have facilities. Facilities, we are talking about the sport field that are well equipped. Not only that, we cannot only just be talking about soccer each and every time.
That's right.
We must also see how best the tennis and basketball, volleyball, all these sports facilities can also be brought into rural areas. And I think that should be the area to go. And it's not only for the sake of, activities, but putting economy to these sports. We must commercialize sports. It must be an activity that makes young people actually to generate not only as a development of talents, but also to make a living out of it. It must be a profession. And in that, we are also then saying the sports and the education must speak to each other. One must specialize in sports.
Absolutely. We didn't hear much being spoken about in terms of tourism. We're knowing that Oshikoto is, of course, home to the very important Etosha National Park that is here in the in Oshikoto region. Talk about what the opportunities that lie in this very important sector of that now being tourism, and what really needs to be done. Perhaps also the emphasis that the governor also needed to put on that as well.
No, tourism, as we have indicated in Oshikoto, really we are at that center of it. We have Etosha, as you have mentioned. We have a very, very beautiful Othithia as well.
Absolutely.
Quite a recreational area, looking at water coming out of the underground continuously with no any other infrastructures. So Oshikoto have that opportunity to actually even develop its resources in terms of economy from the tourism. As in how many tourists really make their way through to Oshikoto on a daily basis. Quite huge. And therefore, how do we then have our community benefiting in that process? We have craft work that you were just showing here now, that, you know, in Omuthia, we have our people that are crafting, doing their itengas and their knives and so forth.
Absolutely.
How do they then give them access to the tourists as they are coming through, so that it generates income for them? So I think those are the strategies that I'm looking forward to the regional council to look into, how the tourism sector in Oshikoto can directly benefit the people. We are talking about the Totha Carnival that was just recently.
Yeah,
It was a very, very good initiative by the Ndonga Traditional Authority and the Ministry of Environment. The question is, how best can the local people benefit from it? How do the young people penetrate that market of tourism? How do we get young people to have a hands-on in terms of entrepreneurship there and fully participate in entrepreneurship to advance and develop the region themselves as entrepreneurs? And so to me, tourism, we need to expand it. In fact, traditional tourism is something that we also need to think about. How do, when the tourist gets here, how do they get to understand our traditions, get to understand our cultures and so forth? I think we can still do much.
And also get investments from that area.
Indeed.
Absolutely. So what other opportunities really do lie in the Oshikoto region for young people, especially, you know, this is a question linked now to youth unemployment, which is a issue not only in Oshikoto, but of course the country at large. But what are some of the opportunities that lie for the youth here, perhaps that they can tap into, apart from the tourism, apart from the entrepreneurship, in terms of what they can be, you know, from the traditional offerings that they can make money from? But what are some of the other opportunities, perhaps also in the service providing industry as well, for them to perhaps also, you know, get away from being a statistic of youth unemployment?
You know, John, honestly, when we speak about that just word, youth unemployment, is something that so much hurts, because it actually removes hope in every individual. However, in Oshikoto, I look at my region as more agricultural based.
That's right.
As much as we have a challenge of water, because at the end of the day, you cannot fully implement agricultural projects without water. However, we have that opportunity because we have the land that is, you know, obviously ready, and, you know, if we can look into the aspect of developing the agricultural setup of the region, I look into it as an opportunity to create quite more employment. Right. That is in agriculture. But how do we ensure that this agricultural sector then provides sufficient employment that young people can be attracted to? So that is by talking about value addition to the agricultural products. We are talking about large livestock. The governor mentioned about the large number of livestock that were vaccinated.
Absolutely.
Now, how do we create? We don't even have an abattoir in Oshikoto. If the government is to construct an abattoir in Oshikoto to ensure that the farmers of Omangeti can process their meat, and obviously employ a large number of young people in terms of, you know, that whole processing, and even getting back through, you process, you package, it goes until the consumption. So for me, agriculture needs to be well tailored in Oshikoto, that young people can obviously get an opportunity also to set up their entrepreneurial projects in the process, in the whole chain of that production. So to me, agriculture is one. I've already spoken about tourism. Otherwise, we have so much developmental activities that are also taking place in Oshikoto. And the question is, how ready are we as young people of Oshikoto to penetrate in this market in terms of either road construction? We are talking about this electrification that we are talking about.
That's right.
What is our hands-on as young people of Oshikoto to be part of the service, those that are providing such services? So I think it's a challenge to us as young people of Oshikoto to say we need to really go deeper and see how we can penetrate some of these economic advantages.
Apart from the youth, what we also saw being hosted here in the town of Oshikoto in the Oshikoto region is, of course, the Heroes Day, which, of course, brought in so many number of people from outside. And what was, also mentioned is the celebration of the veterans and the people who have died, the heroes and heroines that, of course, have shed their blood for the freedom we celebrate today. And the governor also in his speech also, also mentioned the cruciality of also honoring and also, supporting the veterans as well. Talk to us about how important it is for that to, be also a focus for the Oshikoto Regional Council to, give support to them.
Yeah, no, really, in fact, we were lucky to just have hosted that Heroes Day commemoration in here, of which to me, it must be a reminder to us as young people that the heroes of that time, number one, they were young. And they managed to bring that independence that we're enjoying today. We as young people, we should also strive to become heroes of our own generation in terms of how best we can advance the socio-economic of our people. That must be a reminder for all of us as a generation to understand that we have that responsibility to ensure that we liberate ourselves and our generations, the generations to come, when it comes to socio-economic advancements. That's one. So in that, it really gives us that opportunity then to respect the roles that our liberation heroes have obviously sacrificed their lives for, and that it is just was commemorated in Oshikoto. It was a good opportunity for most of us young people to be really at that close commemoration with the entire nation. In that then, as we understand the meaning of the Heroes Day to our generation, it then obviously give us also an opportunity that I want to say, give us an opportunity also to remind ourselves to say, it's time that we then also get closer to these heroes to understand and actually understand or get the history of what happened and how they have managed, so that it helps us moving forward and put more or use the same skills or tactics in order for us to liberate ourselves from the socio-economic that we are obviously busy fighting for.
And perhaps looking forward, what is your hope and dream for the Oshikoto region? What Oshikoto region would you like to see in the future in terms of development, in terms of upliftment, in terms of socio-economic development as well? And the youth, what would you like to see in the future in terms of what was also just mentioned from the Governor's State of the Region address, and also perhaps what you also want to be seen addressed in the future?
My brother, being in Oshikoto for I don't know how many years now, possibly 34 years. I would love to see Oshikoto as a center of entrepreneurship, where young people are very much innovative, to ensure that we provide service, our very own services that advance our economy. I would want to see young people of Oshikoto busy with their hands, busy putting their skills and knowledge to use to benefit the people of Oshikoto. I would want to see Oshikoto industrialized. I would want to see Oshikoto a hub of production, it being food, it being, clothing. I would want to see Oshikoto a center of attraction, where every person comes to Oshikoto can actually go with any other things that they would want to have. That is really what I would want to see Oshikoto. And that can only be done if the young people of Oshikoto really are putting their efforts together, committed efforts from their areas of specialization, wherever they are coming from, bringing their skills, their exposures together to see how to make Oshikoto a hub of, a center for industrialization. Being it agriculture, being it tourism, looking into the aspect of the livelihood of our people being taken care of in terms of healthcare services, access to all parts of this of Oshikoto in terms of road infrastructures. We want to see, you know, when you're traveling through Oshikoto, you must see lights even at night, electrification. That is what we are looking forward, or my wish for Oshikoto. And that it is the young people that must lead this development. It's the young people that must lead these dreams to see Oshikoto a center of attraction for all generations, for that matter.
Absolutely. Well, Willem, thank you so much for making the time to be with us this morning, of course, giving us your expert knowledge on the State of the Region address. And also, we wish you, of course, and the region at large, all the best, of course, in all its endeavors.
Thank you very much, John, and it was nice having you. And long live to Oshikoto, long live to the Republic of Namibia.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
That's right, we've now come to the end of our broadcast for the State of the Region address live from Oshikoto region in Omuthia. And also, this also concludes all the 14 State of the Region addresses that, of course, was brought to you by the Office of the President, as well as NBC, your home, of course, your home of broadcast right now. And we are, of course, grateful to all our viewers who have been following all our broadcasts throughout the whole entire month. And of course, I also like to thank my team. Of course, we're working tirelessly to bring us all this, of course, this production. Of course, I'd like to give thanks to Keenan Campbell. I'd like to give thanks to Paula Sandia, of course, on the camera. We also like to give thanks to, that is Versmus Kadila, who is, of course, making us sound proper, and of course, so that you can hear us properly. Of course, we'd like to give thanks to the man also making us look good in terms of light. I'm talking about Zuma Shiongwa, and also like to give thanks to our technical lady. Of course, she's only the lady, of course, amongst all men here on the trip. And we'd like to give thanks to that is Kriya Fashiweda. She, of course, is making sure that all things are on par and that our live broadcast goes as smooth as possible. And of course, to our producer, who, of course, he is the boss of this production, Dennis Manuel. I'd like to give thanks to him, of course, for making sure and also having sleepless nights of making sure that all the production is, of course, having all its needs. And of course, yours truly, Johnny Skonja, thank you so much for watching. And of course, the NBC at large, of course, loves to bring you all of this and make you feeling informed, entertained, and of course, well educated. For myself, Johnny Konja, the entire crew, thank you for watching. It's goodbye for now.